Bright suns and rising moons, fellow droids. Welcome to the Not the Droids podcast. I'm Danny.
And I'm Mayuri, and today we are going to be talking about episodes 5 and 6 of season 2 of Young Jedi Adventures, titled The Terror of Tanu, The Prince of Masks, Battle for the Band, and Uprooted.
Once again, released on August 14th on Disney Plus. The Terror of Tanu. Weird.
That
I don't know if it's because Weird just came out of Skeleton Crew Land, but all the pirates, and I know it was in season one, but it just hits different when
and
you're
I
like,
think that's like the pirates, the kids. I think Young Jedi is hitting different after Skeleton Crew.
because of like you have Jedi and pirates, like, or
Well,
like the
because we
love of Jedi and pirates and Skeleton Crew.
Well, we had the moment, and I feel like those kids are from an older era, right?
Mhm.
Like they grew up in an older era of the Republic, that environment, and I feel like they're closer in attitude to Young Jedi than like
Yeah.
where we are in the timeline for
Well, they
Skeleton
also
Crew.
kind of grew up as kids and not like in there's a constant war and battle going on.
Yeah,
And that's kind of where I feel our young Jedi
are
kind of
as well.
is. The
Yeah,
era of
I
Smooth, Black
there were
Hole.
s- there were so many parallels to Skeleton Crew. It had to have been on purpose. I
I'm curious.
I'm so curious because I was watching it, right? And so like they discover the ship, they get excited, they power on the ship and ominously
Like
power on a
power on a
droid.
droid.
Not only that, but the droid has a peg leg, and the first time they meet this droid, he is creeping up on them in the hallway.
I think he's a ghost.
But it's so eerily similar to Skeleton Crew. I screamed. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I was just like, if it was the same droid, like same type of droid as 33, I was gonna lose my mind.
You're gonna be like, is this 33's origin story? Is
But
Tao
no,
Bernard
like
actually a droid?
I still sort of think that. I was gonna say now we have precedent that one of the greatest pirates to be known was a
Was a
droid.
droid.
Who
I feel like we should have
programmed?
figured out that he was a droid when his name was Black Bolt. It's kind of on the
That is
nose.
true. I love the lore of Tanu here, right? Like he just plundered Tanu over and over again until he disappeared. Oh, I
Curious. Just
I
disappeared.
this was such another Nash episode. I really loved it. Nash is the one who okay, so who gets the lesson, but like I was
Nash
so
is the
heartbroken.
leader. Like she may not be a Jedi, but Nash is like a born leader.
I was gonna say I was so heartbroken for her in the beginning of this episode when she was just like, the Jedi are known. Like me and RJ just come along.
Yeah.
Nobody knows us. And like I feel that's so hard, right? Because like it has to be hard for her to be part of all of these
And to stay with
adventures,
the ship.
stay with the ship and not get the recognition that she deserves,
Yeah.
right? Like her ship is so cool. She's constantly making upgrades to be
Mhm.
able to help the Jedi.
Yeah.
Like all of these ideas that she has on upgrades to her ship, they're all from learned experience, right? Like, um, and to help the Jedi. And so I could see where she wanted to have something great for
Yeah,
herself.
she wanted her own like little legacy.
But yeah, I really love the like lore and the creepiness and the vibes of this episode. I love that
Finding the
everybody has the
treasure. Nash realizing she has to give up the treasure.
also, I don't know that Nash had to give up the treasure. I don't
I
understand. There were three children running. Nubs has super strength. Why is no one helping Nash with the palette of
I
treasure?
really thought, and I know we ended up with the staff at the end. Thank you, RJ. But I really thought Nash was gonna let go of the treasure and take the staff to at least have that. And then she let it all go, and I was like, wait, what?
This is where I'm like, the Jedi could have helped Nash the whole way.
Also, did they just release this world-renowned pirate into the universe?
When they're like, I hope we don't have to deal with him again, I was like, oh, girl, yes, you will.
So,
Yes, you will. You're gonna come across this, and he has his whole treasure. So he is
no.
not
You
alone.
want to know what happened to him?
He
He
became
was
Tad.
sent he was sent to another part of the universe so far away and ended up at and I
That's
stick
how
with
he
the
was able to
storyline. I'm just gonna keep
listen.
going for it.
I'm still in this. That's how he was able to steal. Oh,
Mhm.
we have to put spoilers for Skeleton.
I do.
But it's like this whole episode just feels like such a flashback and nod to that show that
Yeah.
like, and I know this came out first,
It
right?
came
Like
out
this came
first,
out
but if this came
first.
out in August, Skeleton Crew started in December. It was done filming when this released. Therefore, they were probably written close to and they knew what was going on. There's
But
no
that's
way.
what I just need to know. Did they know?
I
Did
need to
they know?
know.
Or did
Star
they
Wars, this
not
is what I
know?
need to know.
I don't. Can you imagine if they didn't know and they're sitting here watching Skeleton Crew after releasing Terror of Tanu and
And
they're
they're
just
like,
like,
or I want to look up who wrote this episode and
I
who,
need to know.
like, did they write on Skeleton Crew also?
I'm gonna like
You do Skeleton Crew, I'll get Terror of Tanu. Writing credits. Okay, who did you say the writers were?
John Watts and Christopher Ford.
No.
No,
It was a good thought though.
I know. Well, but that's why they're so similar. The vibes of the shows,
Yeah,
so
it feels very
similar.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's why I'm like, can you imagine being the writer of Young Jedi, watching Skeleton Crew, and being like, did we just get
excuse
ripped
me.
off?
Excuse you. Why did I not get
But
this?
I also feel like they're super leaning into pirates this season as opposed to last season. We got a lot of friends along the way, but
We're
like this is
getting more interactions versus exploration.
yes. Because I feel like the last season they were going to a lot of different places, they were
They were
meeting a lot of different
learning,
people,
but
and
they're
they were
having more
learning.
like Jedi encounters versus
Yeah.
let's I'm gonna say this and then uproot it's gonna come up. Let's go explore the creatures and the plants of the universe. But this is more like we haven't just had an exploration episode here. Everything's
No.
been like a task, a mission.
Yeah, everything's a task and mission. Because like even one of the ones we went through where Liz was looking for that animal, that was a task
Yes.
from Ari.
So let's talk about our character development of one of your favorite characters or your
Tabor.
favorite character.
So we start the episode with Prince Cyrus, right? And I love that he has a locker with all of this stuff, and we find out that he has
He
Kai's,
saved.
he saved Kai's original
'Cause I
lightsaber.
think we just assumed it got lost.
Yeah, no, he has it. And he says it that this is like my friend Kai's, or this was before we were friends. And that's where I think it's super jarring for him when the Jedi reference
That they're
Tabor.
not friends with Tabor, and you see the shock on his face, like, what? But in that, throughout the parts in this episode, they're like, we're friends with Cyrus, so you like see them totally having no clue
Well,
that
but that's why when they were sparring, I love when he was like, I've never sparred with Jedi before.
before.
Wink, wink. But
But
like,
also,
he's still
our
so much
friend
better than Kai.
Kai has picked up some cues at the end of this episode
I am just waiting for him to get it. Like he pulls the same move on that pirate that he did on Kai.
And Kai
Um,
makes a note. He's like, I've seen that before. He doesn't say where,
maybe
but
he just doesn't realize that's
things
where
are
it
starting to
was.
click.
I think so. You and I both think that we're going to get a second part of this season. I'm hoping by the end of this season, they find
Then the
out
kids know. Yeah.
that Cyrus is Tabor because I thought they were going to find out, right? Because like they dropped so many hints.
Really thought they
I
were.
I love that Cyrus visits the town so often that the animals love him, the kids love him, and like I
He's
thought
obviously
that's
been changed by meeting the Jedi.
yeah, so meeting the Jedi, going and helping the town. Um, I love his new fit, you know. He also
Everyone
got
got
a
a fit
cape
upgrade.
upgrade.
Everyone got a
I,
fit
I like
upgrade.
that they call it out too. Like he has a new outfit. And it's like he also got a cape. Do you think he got a cape because he saw the Jedi have capes?
Maybe. I also really like that Tabor sent his friends to help the Jedi.
That he called EB3 and Pord to help them escape, which again, I'm going to say Nubs was the problem in this episode.
What's the problem?
Twice. Twice. Nubs was the problem. First of all, why would you send someone with the shortest arms to detach a coupling? First of all.
That
Second
wasn't
of
Nub's
all,
fault.
that's not
The,
Nubs's
the
fault,
the
but
other part, yes, I will give that, but like
the coupling thing wasn't Nubs's fault, but he still is the one that got caught both times when they were supposed to be secrets because they're of the distraction. I'm like, you ruined the distraction play.
it's okay.
Um, but again, it was nice to see the development in Tabor here because like I don't know if maybe he will come clean about who he is.
I'm going back and forth on like that Kai figures it out and confronts him. It's going to be one of those scenes where whichever route it's going to be, and I'm wondering if we'll find out about Kai beforehand, is that Tabor slash Cyrus is going to go tell the Jedi and they figure it out right before then. And it creates a new sense of Hallmark-esque conflict.
Yeah. But like I said, it's just like it is wild that he's so good at sparring and that they're not catching on. Kai has sparred with Tabor many, many a time.
Yeah.
And so that's where it's like, and Tabor is very good at sparring.
Hmm.
So that's where I just like really love to see it. I'm worried about these pirates. Um, this is the second time we've seen them, I think. And I think that they have a weird suspicion about Tabor and this planet.
Yeah.
And I think that they're going to cause issues for Tabor.
Yeah, I kind of like this crew better than Salak.
I like them a lot better than Salak.
I end up want
So
to see more of them because we are going to end up back with Salak in the next episode.
I know. It's hard to see. And again, I don't want to he has better henchmen.
Yeah.
That's I think what it comes down to. Also, Salak is super braggy, whereas this pirate, I'm really spacing on his name,
It's
but
it's kind of the point is like I feel like the braggy ones are like I'm the best pirate and they're not, and the ones that don't talk about their skills
they just steal.
are the ones that are actually the well-known ones because they're like we're not trying to get a name, we're doing what we're doing and our name will carry us through versus I need to go tell everyone I am the ultimate pirate.
Yes. And again, it's that villainous exposition, right? Like all of the bad villains do that.
Yeah.
Um Tabor, I feel like it's
Saber's
understandable
not a
because
villain.
he's not a villain, but he's also a kid trying to be taken seriously as a pirate. So
Yeah.
I could kind of see where he is really fronting, like, I want to be the best pirate.
I need Tabor and Chig to have some time together.
That would be so adorable.
Wouldn't
And
that
I
be? That would be a great way to
to kind
introduce.
of reforming. But the thing is, it's like when it comes to his own people, Cyrus sees it.
Yes.
And you see Tabor explain away why they're not stealing the animals because he no longer steals from people who are hurting.
Yeah, because they've been through enough, and that this is his plan. He's essentially like, this is my planet. I protect it. I'm the only pirate allowed here.
And so that's where it's like we saw the short where he bought parts from Marla. And I
Mhm.
wonder if he's considering her as someone like undeserving of being stolen from. You know what I mean? Like, I
Or he
think,
now understands, like after what happened with his planet and finding out, like helping people, that he needs the help also.
and that's where I'm just like, you can see those seedlings of
Yeah.
like goodness in him
Haber's getting the best character development in the
out
series.
of all of them.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, so we're back with Salak for the next episode. Battle for the Band. I had no idea what this episode was going to be about. So, like, newsflash, I write out the titles and the descriptions, and they're so vague. The
I read
description,
like the titles, but then like it started with like the band, and then all of a sudden we see Salak. I'm like, why are you here? This is supposed to be about the band. We're supposed to be having some fun with
I know, I
Hap.
thought it was going to be like a fun Hap episode. Because the description for the episode is Hap joins a Jedi mission. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is going to be hilarious because Hap is such a disaster. Um,
Hap is not a disaster.
Hap is kind of a disaster.
Hap runs a great shop. He makes great food. He has heart in what he does.
Okay,
He's
yes,
good at his specific thing. Outside of that, he's a disaster.
he's a disaster. But it was kind of nice to see someone other than the Jedi and the people that we know, like seeing Hap like come
Especially
use
someone that
using
we already know and we get to see more of them.
yeah, like him believing in himself
It's just
because
weird that Salak's like, I'm gonna kidnap a band.
it was really strange. It was like, what is this? Why is she coming? But Salak is from Tanu.
Yeah.
We know that. So it could just be, and technically, this band I think is like one of the best in the sector.
It is. We had an episode about how great this band is, and that there's a whole fandom with this is the Swifties of Tanu.
Yes. So that's where I'm just like, I understand why she came back to Tanu for the band. Stealing
I
them.
like I get it, but also why a band?
Well, but that's why. So
I know.
we see why, right? Like when they go with Hap, they go to rescue the band. It's because they're, what is his name? Belchar? Something the hut. There's a hut there.
There's a hut.
And I feel like the hut's just like entertainment. He said he wanted music and he basically wanted a band to capture. And now remind me because I've only seen the original films the one time really.
Hmm.
Um didn't Jabba the Hutt have a band?
Java enjoys some entertainment also.
So maybe it's like a play off of that.
But there's always a
You look
cantina
so
band.
unimpressed. You look so unimpressed. I'm like, maybe he wants an in-house cantina band. I like how,
Just hire one. It'd
but
be a
then
lot
he'd have to
easier.
pay for them. You see later, he was clearly ripping Salak off. So, like, Salak is not good at negotiating or
Mm,
testing the merchandise.
no.
Though I would say the
I mean,
merchandise
Salak also offered to give him some Jedi, so who knows?
But that's where I think Salak is just like desperate to get the manpower she needs
Yeah,
to be able to be taken seriously and like get the life that she wants.
yeah. Don't see it happen for you, Salak.
I don't think it's gonna happen. Stay away from Speeds. I kind of like Toda Joe. He's
He
observant. He also
has a great
figured out
name. He has a great name.
who's the one who gave the Jedi away this time. Tota Joe figured them out. Was it Nubs? I want to say it's Nubs, but I don't think it was. But I do love when the band was like, "Do you really need to like chain us down?" And the Hut was like, yeah, because then you'll escape."
Like, I guess he's
Duh.
lost some bands before and he's
I
learned his
bet you that's why he's in the market for another one.
yeah.
But I also like he doesn't want to pay for them. He just wants to kidnap them forever. And just feed them. It's like, I
Mm,
don't know. This one was a weird one. I love Hap's development in this one. I
yeah.
love that he's like, I'm good at making drinks, so I can help distract by making drinks.
Yeah.
He must have been so scared right behind the bar.
Yeah.
But he did what he needed to do. He ended up saving the Jedi. He ended up saving the band with his million arms.
Yes.
I love
They
it.
Hap did great. It was fun seeing another person introduced. But at the end of this, I'm like, there are a lot of characters in this one.
There were, you know what, also, there were a lot of characters in the cockpit of the Crimson Firehawk. They were all standing in there. I'm like, there is not enough space for all of you in this ship.
Also, the Crimson Firehawk has gotten some upgrades and is big. They all don't need to be in the cockpit, man.
Yeah, like, can't they just be out, I don't know, milling around?
You'll put them in the cargo bay.
Like, put some
We know there's
yeah,
a whole place to put cargo. Our younglings have been tutoring essentially some younger younglings, and we have
yes.
another name.
So this is when I told you I clocked this name in the last set of episodes, Lynn. Lynn? Lynn?
Lynn.
Lynn. And I love that this one, Lynn likes plants. So she's Nubs's little
And
youngling.
Nibs likes plants. Lynn likes plants.
Did you just call
And
him Nibs?
I did. Lynn likes plants. Lynn likes her space. She wants to be in her comfortable area,
She
which is
does
hard.
not want to explore, which
This
is
is very
hilarious for a
hard for a
Jedi.
Jedi.
She's like, it's safe here. It's safe.
It's not safe as a Jedi, my friend.
I know.
But Nubs comes running because I was very confused at the beginning. I was like, why is Kai in the greenhouse with Lynn? This doesn't make sense. And then Nubs
Yeah.
comes running with his tablet, like, guess what tonight is? We
Tanu
got
has
two moons. They're both full at the same time, which confused me because wouldn't they have the same cycle so they would always be full at the same time?
listen, we don't believe in science here on Young Jedi
I mean,
Adventures.
I'm going to say there is a possibility that if the moons are of different sizes, that everything affects it differently. So they might not be full at the same time every time.
But they're only full at the same time once a year.
So it's
That's what they
almost like
said.
a eclipse type of situation
Yeah, I think
where
they
it just
have
has
to
to
be
line up
different.
at
Well, I feel like we've only ever been on one of the moons of Tanu, but and I wonder if because we've flown to moons, we've passed moons. I wonder if we didn't realize that we're just passing different moons. What, what if they're just like on completely different sides and they have to also be in the same
the
area,
revolution needs to line
right?
up.
Like
Okay, yeah,
somewhere
this
in,
I can
I
get
can
this.
see it.
I can
I
get
can
it.
see it.
I
Whatever.
can vibe this. I can vibe this.
So
But this
like you need the
one
light from
flower
both.
only grows in one specific spot where these moons shine exactly in a specific soil. But the flower has disappeared
I know.
because of the creepy witch lady who lives in the forest.
She was nice at the end.
She was
She
the
just
she gives off more like
you called it. You called her Trelawney, and
I call
I
her
can't
Trelawney.
unsee it.
Prue
Because
Canty. Prue's a good
yeah,
name for a witch who lives in a house. That
but also like she just wanted to protect the plants because it's
she literally
dangerous
has
out
droids that
there.
goes out and finds plants for her to take care of
So
inside.
sweet.
She doesn't want to go outside, so she's brought the outside inside.
It was so scary and yet sweet at the same
But
time.
but it's the same story of Lynn. They had to
Lynn.
convince Lynn to go on this mission and go outside and
I
prove
identify
having
with Lynn so much. I hate the outside.
I get it. I get you, Lynn. You even look like me. I get you.
She she when they were just like, look at how beautiful it is outside. She's like, oh, oh, oh.
Her eyes, when she turned around with her saber, and then she was like, crazy eyes.
I was
Oh,
like, at least there's one young Jedi that immediately thinks of their lightsaber as a defense.
yes.
Because one of my biggest gripes of the show is that they forget that they're like Jedi all the time. Like you have a lightsaber,
Yes.
use it. And this girl just immediately like, oh, I got one.
Very much. But because of her experience of this, she is able to explain to Prue, not even explain, she's like, can you just read this tablet of
I love
information,
that
the
they're like
specific
trying to
plan?
reason with her.
And
Sorry,
she's
if you
not
want to go.
having it. And Lynn's like, let me give you the flower botanicals guide that
Like,
tells you exactly what the receipts are, and we only have
yeah,
till tonight until the moons are all
don't
full.
trust me, trust the book. Trust
Yeah.
the book.
When in
And then
doubt, go
she
to the library.
it was a very pretty flower.
It was very pretty. It spit out its one seed, which was not how flowers work exactly, but we'll
What do
take it.
they
It's
do
Star Wars.
with that one seed? Like, couldn't they have taken the seed and like tried to grow it in their greenhouse
But
or
if it
some
didn't work, they would lose this plant because there's only
but
one,
there's only one.
which raises a lot of other scientific
What
issues
is
here.
happening with these seeds once a year? It's popping out. Like, is it just dying as the other one grows? Like,
Yeah, like how, so
let's not think too far into it. But
we can't
in
science all of Star Wars.
in these episodes, which one was your favorite? Because obviously, everybody already knows what mine was.
I am gonna go, I think the Prince of Masks. There's just such I've said it on Creating Magic a lot. I love character development, and it all happens here. And I think Tabor may have won the set because he did so strong in this episode, and the other episodes, it isn't like one stand out.
No, I agree. I think this Tabor wins the set too. Um, the other episodes just didn't feel as interesting.
I enjoyed Uprooted, but it felt more season one,
Yes. And I wonder if it's because the
where
focus of Uprooted was actually the youngling.
the youngling, and that's where we get some of these like lessons of the Jedi way.
Yeah.
Versus they're out doing things that it's like more showing. These are more like telling, like you need to get out there because this is your job as a Jedi now. But
Yeah. We did not get Wes. Did we?
no,
Yeah. I think that's also problematic. Like I thought he was going to be a little bit more involved. He's
I
in the
don't
cover
think, I think
art.
he's more involved than Master Zia because he's more relatable for the age range that is aimed at
Yeah.
the series. And I think that was the reason for bringing in Wes. I don't want too much Wes. I really want more Belle.
I wonder if they'll meet.
I hope so because
We'll
they
have
have
an episode with
such
both.
a mirroring personalities where it's like literally like the opposite.
Opposite of the other. Yeah.
And I would love to see them in the same episode trying to, they need a teamwork episode together.
Yeah, I think that would be a great idea to have like the
So
two of
that
them
so that
together.
the kids can learn that it's not that just them, that the Padawans still are trying to figure this out.
Yeah, no,
I don't think that's happening this at least
no,
this current 11 set.
no, I agree. But we'll see. We've got 5 more episodes this season so far. One, two, three, four, five. Yes. So until next time, we're not the droids you're looking for.
But we're the droids you're gonna get.